Well, hey, how are you guys doing? I promise you I am not going to keep you long, but I had to come in here and tell you all thank you for an absolutely extraordinary experience. These last several days have been nothing short of phenomenal. And I've already thanked the speakers personally, but on this side, I want to thank you again for everything you've done. And I want to also thank the attendees for allowing us to pour into you all, but then you all pouring back into us because several of you were doing a great job of communicating to us what you were thinking, how you were feeling, your motivation, your thoughts that stimulated you. But I don't want you all to fall flat, after this event is over with. Remember, you have access to tools and resources that are on this side that you aren't going to necessarily find on other places. I know that I have a tendency to be very bold and to speak passionately on other social media platforms like Facebook, but honestly, um sometimes the deeper things they happen on this side, inside of the Authentic Collective. And the reason being is because we don't want to have to deal with the hardships of censorship. And so there have been some conversations, there have been some things that have been said where anybody else, when I put a post up, it might quote unquote be considered as a hate speech or inappropriate. If I want to show a picture, if I find out that a brother or a sister was hung on a tree by a noose, Facebook will delete out that graphic. You know what I'm saying? But they let crazy ish that Trump says all over everywhere. Whereas over here, we can say things the way that they are. Not only that, you have the opportunity to connect with other people. So don't forsake the opportunity to truly realize that this is an opportunity to network. Remember, the Authentic Collective is an overall group. When you're in the section that says worthy of abundance, you're in a place where it has all of the tools that specifically came with the Authentic Collective Summit. But when you are in the Authentic Collective, you never know what's happening. Like, for instance, every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, from 12 to 1:30, we actually have a virtual co-op. Some of you that are looking for that, since we're, technically sort of kind of whatever lockdown ish this thing is, you want to be able to focus and work with some other people, then come here. We get on and we got our cameras on, and it's just the point that when you look up, you see another girl boss, getting busy doing what she's doing. Unfortunately, it fell a little flat for a second because of what I had going on in my personal life. But I mean, there's a book club, that is inside of the group. And so the vision for how this place actually evolves into a resource for you all, it hasn't even began to fully blossom into what that'll be, but gradually more and more things will be brought into this community that will be resources and tools for you to use. And so you want to get to know people. Many of you have listened to the speakers. When you click on their name and their profile, which I hope you guys at least gave a blurb about who you are, click follow someone. And if you notice someone followed you, follow them back. That way it's like, oh yeah, I'm a member of the Authentic Collective, but I don't ever see nothing but the post that August is always doing. Well, that's because I'm the Lord, the owner of the site. Then you always see my stuff unless you shut off your notifications. But your feed, your timeline on any social media platform looks the way that it looks because of the people that you are connected to. And so, some of you guys, you're going to host events. You are going to want people to collaborate with you on projects. And so, you want to already be establishing relationships right here and right now. You want to make sure that you keep those connections. So it's not about this being the new distraction for you, the place where you come and it's like, oh, I'm always in the Authentic Collective. It's about, no, I make sure I pay my respects. I come in, I do what I do, and then you go on about your business and go from there. And if there are some trivial things that what people would consider to be trivial but are important to you, some racial issues, whatever it is, if that comes up, you bring it over here. We've even had Zooms where it's like, okay, we got some issue on our chest. Do we need to have a team meeting, or do we need to have a group, a sister chat, or whatever it is, in order to discuss, the stresses and the things that we're feeling and the issues that we're facing. And so, whatever this place is going to ultimately be, and what it really truly blossoms into. How that'll look, I can't necessarily 100% say, but just make sure that you don't forsake the opportunity that's here. Don't forget, you have access to these recordings from now until whenever. You leave the site, now you leave the videos. That's a whole nother story. But the work that has to be done, a lot of it, you can't catch it in one sitting. If you've ever had that motivational speaker or that message, that sermon that you listen to, you go back, you hear it 3 months later, your life is kind of shifted. You catch something that your ear wasn't sensitive enough to catch the first time around. And so you want to use this as a resource. So come back inside of the Worthy of Abundance Collective and continue to process and do the work. So I have to do a little bit of research myself to see exactly what I'm going to do, because there was some promotion for the event. But I did want to put this out there. My free offer was to do a live session. I need to check back in with you all to let you know what that date was going to be. But I said I would allow 15 people to come in live with me. And so I'll put a reminder on my actual video. If you're interested in being a part of that live session where we do open dialogue about healing, then I want you to raise your hand and say me on that post in particular. You can put it on this video too, but I really wanted to make sure that I don't forget and that it's counted. I want you to put it over there. The other thing is there is a prize. You know, people make fun of me because of my hairstyles. From what I've seen, no one's put up the correct answer yet. And I would really prefer for somebody to put up the correct answer before I give it, because then nobody gets the prize. So I've been trying to give you all a chance to do that, but let me make sure that it's clear, because one of y'all guessed 3 and I said you was all the way off, and then Sister Girl came back and guessed 5. When I say count the hairstyles, and that means the wrap styles, that means that if I took a wrap and I made it a bow today and made it a bun tomorrow, that's 2 different wrap styles. If I had blue hair and had the hair sticking out, and then I had green hair and had it sticking out, that's 2 different styles. So you said too much pressure for that prize. It is not, Marcia. I did not know you was here. It really isn't. It's okay. And all I know is this. I will tell you that 5 is way too damn low. Okay. There were 16 interviews, and my vain ass almost had a hairstyle for every single interview. But bottom line is I'll wait until I wake up in the morning. If nobody has figured out how many it is, I'm just going to put the answer in there, and then we'll just say, oh, well, I just tell you what the prize would have been, and maybe we can make it for something else. But that was ultimately it. Thank you guys for allowing us to pour into you. Thank you for the reciprocation that you've given back. Keep your eyes and your ears open, because whether it's summits, potentially an anthology coming up, there's always things that I'm doing to help get the word out. All I'm doing is sharing my platform. And I also have a new podcast that'll be coming out. I'm actually going to be retiring the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast and starting a new podcast. I just enrolled into a podcast academy just to brush up on my skills. Thank you for loving them all, boo. Because it's been a while since I've launched it. Make sure there's some look for some do's and don'ts, and also just start off with a more polished podcast anyway, and realign and revamp with my, not so much as my brand, but more so as my clarity and my mission. So that was it. You all enjoy your day. Those of you that haven't finished watching those videos, crank them out. Take your time though, and enjoy everything. I'll give you all some peace. If any of you have any questions and stuff like that, put them inside of the group. Other than me checking on the prize, I do usually take about a 2-day hiatus because I have to totally revamp. And this time it may be more like 3 days because I got some spiritual stuff I got to work through. But y'all know I'm really good about staying in contact with people. So I'll be back out here. So that was all I wanted, was just to tell you thank you, that I enjoyed myself immensely. You guys made this such a beautiful thing. And let's keep moving onward and upward. And let's keep on pushing for this event to keep on being life-changing and therapeutic so that we can start doing some inner work and healing our community. All right. So I love y'all. I'm out of here. Deuces.